When we look back at this game years from now, no matter who actually won the series, we'll all remember where we were for the stretch run in the fourth quarter. We all know what AD yelled out here, serving to remind us all of the possibilities, the rewards for perseverance, and the stunning ineptitude of something as simple as a switch. But it all served to enthrall us with a roller coaster ride of emotion, a non-stop spectacle that needed every tenth of a second on the clock to decide, with Anthony Davis evoking the Mamba as his shot rose up, carried through the air, and dropped in for the win. There were so many storylines in this game, so let's jump right into it with LeBron's first half scoring. He hadn't been this aggressive this early all playoff long, and my suggestion to put Jokic on him and give him 8 feet of space might not have been the best idea based on this spin move and score. This is the classic Tony Parker with a crossover pickup spin back for the bank shot. While Paul Millsap had the highest net rating of any Nugget last night, he cost them dearly around the rim, throwing this one to LeBron, allowing the locomotive to pull out of the station. Jamal Murray preferred to stay in the waiting room, while Torrey Craig was still running on the platform as LeBron gets the finger roll. LeBron targeted Murray all night in the pick and roll. In the first half, by using LeBron as a screener to force a switch onto him, this mismatch draws all the focus. Torrey Craig needs to actually double and not just hover around the ball, and Morris needs a little better vision to see Rondo backing out but Kuzma cutting in. Same action again, and this time Murray gets caught positioned too high, allowing the backdoor cut and Rondo to get one of his 9 assists in a vicious way. LeBron was even more deliberate than usual last night, holding the ball for long stretches without much movement in the offense. I like the idea of Plumlee guarding him and daring him to shoot from the outside, but LeBron accepted the challenge to hit this well-contested step-back 3. Alex Caruso had himself a second quarter, folks, and though the box score numbers weren't eye-bulging, he was everywhere making plays. While his man cuts through the lane, Caruso gambles by helping off onto the best passer in the NBA, but he also knows Anthony Davis is back there to help, and his pressure helped force the turnover. And then we got a nice dunk in the open court. It was worth a highlight, but it wasn't the most amazing thing, particularly because Jeremy Grant did some sort of weird synchronized jumping and watching versus actually trying to block this. Caruso nailed a big 3 that got them their biggest lead at 16, but this was more about Rondo's excellent timing and accuracy. The Nuggets iced this step-up screen, but because Grant is so worried about AD, he isn't in proper position between the ball and the basket. This forced Jokic to be a third defender in the pick and roll, opening up the smallest of windows for Rondo to fire this pass through, right on the money for the easy catch and shoot. The Lakers iced this ball screen, forcing Caruso to switch onto Jokic, but when the ball gets kicked back out top, watch how he will stunt to the ball with the express purpose of getting back to his man. He keeps his feet parallel to the baseline, open to both the ball and his man, and as a result gets a beautiful deflection, is down court in a hurry, then takes his time to extend his second step from the dotted line for the beautiful finger roll by Murray. In the third quarter is when Davis began to explode, and it's really a matchup issue. Granted, no one seems able to stop him, but Jokic is particularly ill-suited. When the Lakers go to the AD at center lineup, this is where I feel Jokic should take LeBron and give him 8 feet of space. Let's see what happens over 5 possessions before dismissing this folly, since the alternative is this. With Jokic's size, you'd think he'd be able to offer some resistance down low, but he can't handle the dexterity and quickness of Davis, who makes him look foolish. Denver coach Mike Malone had a eureka moment in the second half by bringing in little-used PJ Dozier for some minutes. He had looked good in garbage time of Game 1, but who knew how he'd react to a title battle in the fourth quarter of the biggest game of their season? The answer was very well. On the pin down for Millsap, he flares out to the top with Anthony Davis on him and the shot clock running down. A simple through-the-legs dribble gets him middle, and look how he closed the space to get into the body of Davis going up before dropping in the floater for the and one. However, the pressure of the moment weighed heavily on him, and he not only couldn't complete the three-point play, he ultimately went 1 for 5 from the line, and every single miss was crucial. Dozier is primarily known for his defense, and when LeBron rejects this Dwight Howard screen, it gets him half a step on Jeremy Grant. This isn't supposed to be the help, since it gives up a wide open corner three. But watch how Millsap's left arm helps a little bit to get LeBron's momentum carrying him into Dozier, who then flops to the ground and somehow gets the ref to give this charge call on LeBron James in the fourth quarter of a tight game. Wow! But the Lakers were still in firm control, up 5 with under 4 minutes left and the ball. Grant is trying to lure LeBron into taking an outside shot, but LeBron keeps hoovering up the extra space until he hits him with a spin move. This time, Dozier helps off the corner again and blocks the shot. Now, it's possible he got some of LeBron's arm in the process. We'll never know. But for LeBron to not get this call anyway is jaw-dropping in its rarity. And Dozier comes down the court on the break, gets the trail pass, and expertly glides around the Davis attempt at a charge. I'll keep saying this. I think Davis needs to try and block more of these types of shots instead of taking charges. But it worked out for the Lakers as he missed 2 more free throws. Of course, LeBron headhunts the inexperienced Dozier by forcing the switch, but instead of hitting him with an aggressive move to get to the rim, he does an awkward dribble and jump and pass at the same time to Davis with no time on the clock. But in some foreshadowing, Davis staggers to get this shot off and doesn't even touch the rim on this pure shot. With an 8-point lead and the 2 best players on the floor in dark jerseys, the outcome would seem locked in. The Nuggets go right to their absolute bread and butter Murray and Jokic pick and roll. Murray's aggressive baseline drive forces a switch, and there's nothing Caruso can do while giving up 9 inches to the soaring Serbian. We now get to the part of the game LeBron would not be proud of. They run some nice motion offense away from James until it swings back around and grinds to a halt. Wasting time as the shot clock winds down, he doesn't try to attack, instead meekly double pumping a standstill 3 that ends up being 2 feet short. This time, they target Jokic in the pick and roll, and watch Murray tell Millsap he's supposed to stay and close out to the open man. Millsap doesn't do this, forcing Murray to get out there. Now, in a perfect world, Millsap lets KCP go and gets to the corner where Rondo is scorching from 3 in the playoffs at 47.6%. But Jokic does get there, Rondo's release is crazy slow, and Denver gets the stop. Another possible benefit to having Dozier in is that Murray can now play off-ball instead of getting physically abused so much with the ball. And this aggressive drive to the hole opened up this 3-pointer for him, and ultimately the tip-in for a key basket. But on this possession, Dozier sucks the help down into the paint before going behind the back to the wide-open Jokic. Why he didn't shoot this, I have no idea, but he did generate a good look from 15, but it slams off the backboard. LeBron comes down and hunts out Jamal Murray again. I'm still not sure why he doesn't want Jokic involved, and in an embarrassing drive, he just goes down to the floor, throwing it away in the process. It's Murray's time to use the Jokic screen on the right side of the floor, again catching Anthony Davis overhelping, and its behind the back pass gets Jokic to take the open shot, and somehow, this lead has been cut to 1. So let's survey the floor like LeBron sees it. He could bring Murray up in the pick and roll, the slower-footed Jokic. Instead, it's Millsap, who stays to help, and with Jokic in early help position in the corner, LeBron has nowhere to go. The slip ball screen got KCP slightly open, but good rotation by Murray to get a hand up in the vicinity. However, a 1-point possession where LeBron or Davis doesn't shoot it has got to be suboptimal for the Lakers. And here's the surprise, they screen with Millsap, not Jokic. Dozier gets confused, wanting to pass it to Jokic in the high post, and it almost gets away from them. But it all took way too long to get into what they clearly wanted to do, the Murray-Jokic ball screen. In all my years, I don't think I've ever seen a play like this in this kind of moment. KCP plays phenomenal defense to contest this shot with 2 seconds left on the shot clock. But look at the presence of mind and concentration by Nikola Jokic to rise over LeBron and not only touch the ball a split second before the shot clock went off, but to also have enough touch and control to get this ball to go in the basket. This was an incredible play and gave the Nuggets the lead. Here's a huge mistake the Nuggets made. By allowing LeBron to roll the ball up the court all the way to the wing, the Lakers saved at least 8 seconds on the clock, which will come back to haunt them dearly. The Nuggets also appear to be in a zone for the first time all game, and it allows AD a free run right into the lane for a little floater to get the lead back. I think the Nuggets go away from the Jokic post-up too often, but they get to it here, and Anthony Davis lets himself get back down into the paint, no help off the shooters, and Jokic retakes the lead with the easy jump hook. Down by 1, the Lakers want to get the best shot they can as quickly as possible, so it's a little curious to me that they ran down 8 seconds before mounting an attack. There's the Murray matchup LeBron covets, and despite Jokic being too little too late on this help rotation, LeBron throws the skip pass. They rotate off of Caruso, who's shooting a paltry 26% from 3, so it's no surprise that misses, but then we get an incredible play by Murray, blocking the shot cleanly before trying to save it out of bounds. Remember the extra seconds the Lakers saved by rolling it up? This is where it really helped them. Now, Murray should have tried to toss this ball straight up in the air. The clock would have expired before it came back down. But as it is, the Lakers have no timeouts left and have to improvise a play as the subs go in and out, notably Mason Plumlee. This situation might seem familiar because it happened in the bubble between these two teams before. And wouldn't you know it, Plumlee completely screwed up the switch on this play, giving Kuzma a good look at a 3 to win the game. But that couldn't happen again, could it? Grant seems to be telling Plumlee to switch with him if there's a screen set. But when the Lakers actually run the play, LeBron just stands there, Grant holds his ground to not let LeBron cut to the hoop, and yet Plumlee just waltzes over to LeBron with a meaningless point. There was no need to switch, Davis gives him plenty of room to get through there, and despite Jokic's best efforts to cover for this, Davis gets a great look, lets it fly, and the buzzer sounds just as it is ripping through the net for a perfect swish. You'd have to consider the Lakers pretty lucky to have pulled this one off, and now they've got a commanding 2-0 lead on a team that seems to thrive on being down multiple games in a series. And the Nuggets should be very encouraged that some of their adjustments began working, and ultimately will lead to some bit of success at the very least. But for now, it's the Lakers who can kick back and enjoy this incredible shot, and most likely another trip to the NBA Finals. If you like this video, click the thumbs up button and leave a comment. And don't forget to subscribe for more playoff breakdowns coming up. We'll have at least one a day during the postseason, so turn on those notifications so you can be alerted right away. You in?